morning. My name is Madison Modine. With me I have Rayleigh Bachman and Jessica Big. Today we're going to talk about voting. Now, do any of you feel like you just don't care about the election? Are you sick of hearing it all the time on social media? Election, election. It's everywhere, that word. We are here to tell you why that word election is so viable to our future and to what we care about through voting. Hopefully you won't go crazy over social media and between what we have to say. We as Americans long ago decided that we want the freedom to speak. We want the freedom to speak our words. We want the freedom to make choices for ourselves and have them implement throughout our future. This all happened with the Bill of Rights. Now, back up a little bit. We need to make a stand. With our freedom of speech, we need to be able to say what we want. Now, as many are aware, the voting age is 18. Raise your hand right now if you're 18. Right. So we all have the power to vote. We all have the power to make a stand with our freedom of speech. Now, even though you're just one person, keep in mind your vote does matter. We'll discuss that later. Us three became concerned over voting and how important it is, mainly due to the election. Now, this election is very important. It decides, again, our future. It is a little scary, but it's something we have to do. Well, today we're going to discuss 1, why people don't vote, 2, why we do vote, and 3, why we should vote. And I'll turn it over to Riley.
Okay, why we don't vote or why we didn't vote, because it's already over and it's already over. But anyway, so I'm sure we can all agree that the candidates were just horrible, and I think everyone can agree on that. So I'm not going to stand up here and tell you who you should have voted for or whatever, but so our votes mean a lot more than you think. And according to the blog post, 7 reasons most Americans don't vote, vote no, vote is like, okay, so we are the only country that gets to vote. Like, we get to decide on what we want, and so I think that's awesome, and I think we should all take a stand in that. I think that we get to pick what we want, like the medical marijuana, we get to vote yes or no on that, and I think that's awesome, and I think more people need to get involved, and I think we need to watch the debate, or should have watched the debate, and read more on it, and so our state doesn't have much for electoral votes, and I know we all think that, so we don't think that our votes actually matter, but maybe your vote was the one that made Trump win, or Hillary win, or whoever you wanted. So I think that that's a really big deal. And like I said, I'm not going to tell you who you should have voted for, because whatever, it's already done. But you cannot always go by the advertisements. And really, in the end, it's whoever has the most money out of the candidates, whoever can afford the best advertisements. And to be honest, you can't really even believe the advertisements. Sometimes they just tell you what you want to hear, and half the time it's not even that true. So I don't think that that's something that we should go off of. And they promise us change, and they say it all the time, they'll change, but really when they get in, are they going to even do anything? We have no idea. So now that I have talked to you about why people don't vote, Madison has some facts on why we do vote.
Now, although there are some viable reasons that people, a very short and few amount of people, cannot vote, the vast majority needs to. There's a large amount of the Americans that really don't vote when they have no reason not to. Now, here are some reasons why we should vote. Not voting gives others the power to determine to make decisions for you. All of the elected officials up in our federal government, our state government, even our local government, make decisions every day to represent what you think, what you feel. Are you going to support them in that representation? Think of it. Your laws comes to all, okay. Think of this. Everything that's happening with our local law enforcement and all the riots and things that happen. In North Dakota, we have the North Dakota Access Pipeline right now being protested. Think of all the voting that's happening just in that short little thing. That's not on the federal level, that is local. Now that's also deciding if there going to be a pipeline throughout a large amount of our country. Is there going to be more riots? Are there going to be more protesters? Just yesterday I was at the state capitol, and there are protesters standing outside of our state capitol building right now. A simple vote could possibly aim to end that. Now, a second thing. Voting is the one right that gives us all other rights. American freedom was given off of voting. How was that given? The Bill of Rights. In 1787, George W. Bush also became first president. Anyway, so yes, Bill of Rights. They were voted on, they were put into Congress, we now have them. Those are our rights, through voting. And this is the probably most distinctive thing that people think of when they think of voting and how important it is. According to History.com, on December 13th, 2000, there was an election held. That election had a 36-day recount. That was between Al Gore and Bush. Now think of that. If some people didn't vote, that could have swayed so heavily. Voting is very important. It decides our rights, our freedoms, and even who represents us in the future. Now to Jessica.
According to the U.S. Census Bureau in 2016, the voter turnout rate was 55.6%, which means that 44.4% of the people did not vote. Today I'm going to talk to you about the many reasons why we should vote. Voting is a very important part of our country, and it has been a part since the very beginning. By voting, we can be involved in government and create the change that we want to see. Our government needs voting, and if we didn't vote, we wouldn't be able to have the type of government that we have. It gives citizens a way to speak their minds, and it can also give us a way to make a difference in our lives and within our country. Voting can also show support for things that we care for. Many people often complain about the candidates that are elected that they don't like. If they haven't voted, they don't really have the right to complain because they haven't voted. Voting can give someone credibility, and it shows that we are a part of a larger movement. Another reason that voting is important is that it is our responsibility as citizens of the country. It shows we are part of the community. Women, poor, and ethnic minorities fought hard for our right to vote. And we are privileged in this country to get to vote because many other countries don't have the privilege to vote. When more people vote, they increase the chance that the issues they care about are taken more seriously. I hope now that you know some reasons that we should vote, that you will take the upcoming elections more seriously. I just talked about why we should vote. Now here is Rayleigh to go over everything we talked about.
So today, Jessica, Madison, and I have talked about why we don't vote, why we do vote, and why we should vote. And even though voting is over and there's nothing you can do now, I just hope in future years you just pay more attention and remember this speech and kind of what we went over. And so for more information on voting or voting in North Dakota and what you can do, you can go to vote.nd.gov. Thank you.